Okay, I'm gonna put you on video. Is it okay if I can record you?
Of course.
Okay. What is your title?
Software developer.
Software developer. How often do you come to work?
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. What are the times? Like
9 to 5.
9 to 5. What was your dream job when you were little?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Maybe hockey player.
Hockey player? That's a good one. I like that one. What was your favorite subject in school?
I took a lot of computer classes.
A lot of
so
computer
anything
classes.
dealing with the computers was.
What subject aided you the most for this job?
That's a hard one. Let me think for a second. Are we talking about high school or college?
Either one.
Okay. In high school, it would have been the web design classes. In college, it would have been probably the computer science classes that dealt with programming.
Okay. What type of degree do you have?
I have a bachelor's in computer science.
How did you get this job with RDV?
Saw an online listing and applied for it.
What is your favorite part about this job?
There's a lot good about this job. Let me think. So just relating to my job here, I like being able to solve problems. It's related to working to RDV. It's an awesome place to work. We've got a great facility that they encourage us to use.
Can't forget about the gym too. What is your favorite part about this job?
Wasn't that what you...
Did I just ask that question? Yeah. Is your job more independent work or teamwork?
More independent, but it can be collaborating on projects too. But we usually divide the parts that we want to work on. So whereas if we're collaborating on it, I'll have a specific part. So whereas Martin on the team can do the back end work, I'll work on the front end.
Okay. What did you not take in college that could help you or could have helped you?
I found out after I graduated that they did offer classes on .NET specific stuff,
Okay.
which I had talked to my advisor and asked him if there were any of those, but he had told me that there wasn't.
So I guess he didn't know about it either.
Yep.
What is your daily work like?
Come in, check any emails for any bugs or issues that need to be addressed immediately, and then I address those if there are, or during the day if they come in, I'll jump on over to any priority fixes, and then I'll resume work on one or more projects that I'm currently working on, which is mostly coding through, we use Visual Studio here,
Okay.
so mostly coding in that, and then doing database work.
Does it change from week to week or month to month, or is it kind of just the same thing?
Since we're a smaller company, yes, it changes greatly. I've got a variety of projects I work on, from the website to the TV displays to the palm scanners that we have to back-end business reports.
Okay. You're in a field that is constantly changing. How does this affect you?
Definitely there's a lot to keep up with, more than you possibly can. So you pick your areas up that you're interested in, you try to follow along with those and do your own research and keep current.
And how do you approach this? Or how do you approach?
Constantly changing?
Yeah.
I follow blogs and people who I'm interested in and read what I can, and if I'm interested in an area, I'll do some research and play around with new tools and tricks.
Okay.
Why not?
You don't know what you don't know. So what did I not ask you that is important?
I would say, if I could do it over again, is find job listings that seem interesting to you and work backwards from the requirements there, as opposed to this degree sounds interesting. Find out what job is interesting and mix your degree and your classes to that job.
Okay. I know when you're little, you kind of like, how am I going to see myself in 10 years? But how do you see yourself in 10 years from this point right now? Like, what is your main goal, like dream job? Like, I know RDV is a pretty good job, but I know you have high expectations of a better job.
That's a good question. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe becoming a teacher years down the road.
Kind of like a professor?
Yeah, but I do acro yoga.
Okay.
And getting into that.
That's awesome.
So do something more on the athletic side.
That's cool. It's kind of like
programming,
passing your knowledge on to somebody else when younger, stuff like that.
Just doing it for fun, really.
True that.
I like athletic type things, because one of the things I've realized is with the programming, you are sitting behind a desk for many hours a day, and that is taxing on the
That's true. You want to.
body. I mean, here at least we can get up and go to class.
That's awesome. That's all my questions, but thank you, Aaron.
Yep. Did you have any personal questions if you're considering? So you're doing this in high school?
In college.
Okay, cool.
This is my first year of college, so.
Okay, nice.
Personal.
At UCF?
No, I'm at Valencia.
Valencia, okay.
Did you take any, like, during high school and college, like, separate classes? Like, I know I follow, like, Code Academy, Programmer, that kind of stuff on the internet that kind of helps me learn code. Did you do any of those, or did you have, like, a separate thing you did?
I did Florida Virtual School.
Okay.
In high school, because there wasn't too much offered in that way in my high school.
Yeah, neither.
And then I got a job in high school, and I was able to learn a lot more from the job than necessarily from classes.
Okay.
I did computer science, and I would say that only 25% of my degree was actually relevant to my day-to-day work.
Okay.
Which is one of the things that you're going in there, you think it's all going to be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But so much of it is at the lower level, like assembly and compiler and stuff, that I never want to touch. I don't want to be working with ones and zeros. I like the high level abstraction and the layers that we built to make my job easier. But it all depends on what you want to do. If you want to get into game development, that stuff's, it depends on which part of it. If you're working on the actual interfacing with graphics chips, you might be using more of that. Whereas if you're working on the higher level programming abstractions, probably not going to be too relevant.
Yeah.
That's why I said, find the jobs that look interesting to you and see what they're requiring for it, and then try to learn those skills as you go.
Okay. I know that there's a lot of different coding out there, like C++, C++, all that stuff. How many of those codes do you know, and how many do you want to know?
At a point, it becomes more or less that it's all syntax. I'm not sure if you've heard that before.
No.
But once you learn a couple languages, or even one language well, as long as you're moving into similar ones, there are a couple of exceptions, like Lisp is one that's just really weird.
Okay.
But so I knew VB.NET pretty well before I came here. .NET offers several options in their framework, so I was able to transition to C#.NET pretty easily.
Okay.
Because it's just it's pretty similar. You're just writing things slightly differently.
Okay.
So in VB.NET, you don't use colons to end your statements, whereas in C# you do. So it's just learning that, okay, well, I have to write things slightly differently. There are even online tools that you can convert between languages.
Okay.
And that's pretty neat to just, okay, well, take a code of whatever software in this language, put it in, and it comes out in another language. So the language isn't so much as the most important thing as learning the fundamental logical principles behind the language. And then it's using whatever's adapted to your framework. So there's a lot that I use that's specific to .NET to make my life easier. That's not necessarily a language type thing, as it's more business objects, maybe is how I would describe it. I I really like the Microsoft environment. Their framework is beautiful, and if you've worked with something that's not in a framework, like PHP, and not using a framework with that, it can be a pain in the butt to debug or to figure out where your errors are. Whereas with the .NET stuff, it's really, really nice to work with because it provides very detailed information and takes a lot of the guesswork out of the debugging.
Okay, I think that's all my questions. Thank you for your time, Aaron.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Yeah, another piece of advice I'd give is get an internship and have some work. Because anywhere place that you're going to want to work, they're going to want to see experience. And even if you don't have an internship per se, even if you have a program that you could say, hey, here's what I've done, here's the source code, here's what I've written, that goes a long way.
Okay.
To get this job, that's one of the things I did was I quickly mocked up a project and I said, okay, well, here's what I've done, you can see it, it's something tangible, here's the code behind it.
I know what I'm
feel
doing,
like that
kind of stuff like that.
That goes a long way. So I know my friends, because I was already working in a field, so I didn't get the internship in college, but I know a lot of them who did the internships, received job offers from that, and they had a lot of experience. So I would highly encourage
thank you.
Get an internship. And
do you have a business card?
I do. Somewhere.
There we go.
Yeah. So
Thank
if you
you.
ever got any questions,
Definitely. Because, I'm right down here at the ice store. So I go, skate all the time.